Today, I think we have probably one of the least civil moments in American history. So much so that I would submit that even though we have a $12 trillion debt, the world's largest budget deficit, world's largest trade deficit, we have the trifecta, the hat trick on debts and deficits, even though we have two potentially unwinnable wars, I would submit that the greatest threat facing our country today is our lack of civility. We're facing insurmountable obstacles when it comes to education, energy. How are we going to even attempt to address these huge mountainous issues if we don't sit down, break bread together, and talk with one another? We've got to return to a degree of civility. Now, I applaud the president. I think he's been the most civil president since Abraham Lincoln. He's really bent over backwards about this. But I think there are some very distinct lessons that we need to glean here. First off, the Founding Fathers, when they gathered in Philadelphia, 1787, in the hot, humid summer that changed history, before they put together our Constitution, they created some basic rules for good government. And one of the rules, for example, was government, if it's going to be of, by, and for the people, had better be simple. Most people were illiterate. Most people didn't have time to read this. This is before paved roads. It's before the Pony Express. It was before Twitter, Flickr, YouTube, and MySpace, okay? So it better be simple. And that was one of the rules they used to design the Constitution. A second rule for good government was we need a civil ethic and a civic ethic. Civic and civil. We need a civil ethic in that we need to realize we all live downstream. We need to come together. This sort of Amish community example. Someone's barn burns down, we all get together and build a new barn. Well, today the Founding Fathers are turning over in their graves because we even had people this last year that were hoping, writing, and praying that Chicago would not get the Olympics because they didn't like someone who used to live there for a few years. We've lost that civil ethic. We've also lost the civic ethic. The sense that we can agree to disagree, we can come together, and the founders in Philadelphia fought. Make no mistake about that. You all saw the movie John Adams, or read the book by McCullough. There's a wonderful scene in there, it's a true scene from history, where Adams is shown this beautiful mural, this painting of all the founders standing around like this in Philadelphia, and the artist says, "What do you think of it?" And Adams looks at it, shakes his head, and says, "That's not the way it was. We were out of our seats. We were fighting. We were disagreeing. We were putting together a brand new form of government never before seen on this earth. We fought. But at the end of the Constitution, they came together, broke bread, moved beyond their disagreements. We've got to be able to do that today. Otherwise, the underpinnings of democracy are that we have a civil society and a civic society. If we're losing that, which we are, I doubt whether democracy can function.